it, make a big noise. Call it, make it progress. Blame it on the late night bar fights. Dim lights, I can't see her face at all. Another show in my town.
Welcome back to the Dads with Nerdy Ambitions podcast. We have been gone forever, Kevin. It feels like we've been, it's been 2 months, 3 since we've done an episode because we were busy. You were dying. You were sick for a while. We had the holidays, and we are back for season 4.
We survived Christmas.
We did survive Christmas. Holy heck.
We're mailmen, so that's a thing.
Dude, that is not cool. We are letter carriers of the United States Postal Service. I can't even say that with a straight face. Oh, we're so getting fired for this one. Dude, but it's great to be back. Holy cow. So much to go over. What have you been up to, my guy?
Work. We've been working, a lot of work.
Well, we did a lot of work, yes. What have nerdy things you've been up to?
We are still doing vampires.
You are, yes.
You've missed a couple games.
I have missed a couple games.
Unfortunate for you, but
yes.
Yeah, me and Thomas we're vamping it up.
Yeah, we are getting ready to launch the Dungeons and Dragons campaign for our area. We're getting ready to do more stuff with Kinsman's Brewery. Actually, next week. Are you ready to DM?
I got a one-shot planned, yeah.
You got a one-shot planned?
I tested out my kid.
Which one?
Logan.
Is that the one
he's
that breaks?
The worst kind of D&D player?
Uh-huh.
He just like adds characters. He's like, wait, I have a gun too. But you don't have a gun, all right? This is easy. You have a stick. Use the stick. You're 5.
Is that the one who broke his finger with a dumbbell and then
that was the
got
2-year-old.
This
one stabbed himself in the eye with a spoon trying to eat ice cream.
Genetics is strong with you, isn't it, over there?
The future is bright.
Other than let's see, what have I been up to on? Oh, we've been doing a lot of PC gaming. We actually have set up a couple servers for some of the fans to play with and everything, the Minecraft and Ark. We have been, God, what have I been up to? It just seems like all I did was work. It's so crazy.
We've been trying to do this episode for weeks now, and every night's daddy duty. Someone's sick. I can't talk. You get kids.
Oh, dude, it's literally the name of the podcast, Dads with Nerdy Ambitions. We have ambitions to be nerdy, but then dad comes into play. So we have a fun episode for tonight, though. And we are getting some amazing support, actually, from one of your favorite drinks, good sir, Jeppson's Malort.
You know it.
Oh yeah, your favorite drink, right?
I can't get enough of it.
You can't get enough of it? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You know what? That's great. I do enjoy it. I like it. And they're throwing us a lot of love for this episode. So I first off want to give a shout out to Jeppson's Malort. Thank you guys for just throwing us the TLC, especially on what was actually kind of a quick notice. I hit them up and talked to them. And then we get to talk about another thing that you and I are very passionate about, and that is music. We are going to be having this amazing fun band that I found on the Tickety Talks, as the younger generations would say. We have Malort Savior coming on the show. They're going to be talking to us about everything that they do, their passions, and it turns out that they're even a little bit nerdy, and at least one of them is a dad. So we got some connections here.
Those are the prereqs for getting on the show, so they qualified just barely.
And fun fact, they are from the Chicago area or the surrounding Chicago land area. I think one of them technically is the Burbs. So we'll let him decide for that. But I was sitting there, Kevin, I was thinking to myself, and I said, Steve, how can we let Jeppson's Malort know that we appreciate them and everything that they do, and this amazing quality drink that they are bringing that I legitimately enjoy? And I said to myself, Steve, we should work on a commercial for them. And who better than you and I to play the characters? We both are high quality actors here. And so I wrote this little script for a commercial, and I think we should test it out. Do you think you could test this out with me?
I'm in.
Are you in? Wow, I took a lot to sell you. The commercial I'm thinking and envisioning is called the Malort Challenge. There's going to be two characters in it. I will be playing the role of Alex, a confident, adventurous type, eager to try new things. And you will be playing the role as Sam, because the sidekick is always a Sam. The best sidekicks are. Sam's going to be a bit skeptical, cautious, not a big fan of trying weird things. What do you think? Should we set the scene for this?
Sounds like us. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, all right. So, setting the scene, a local bar with a friendly, casual atmosphere. The scene opens up with Alex and Sam sitting at the bar. A bottle of Malort is prominently displayed on the counter. Alex: all right, Sam, today's the day you finally try Malort.
I've heard things about Malort. Is it really as unique as they say?
Unique is one way to put it. It's a rite of passage here in Chicago.
What does it taste like?
It's a surprise. But hey, how bad can it be, right? The bartender pours 2 shots of Malort. Alex picks up his shot glass confidently, while Sam eyes theirs suspiciously. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Got your drink? My drink. Alex.
It tastes like.
It tastes like burning rubber mixed with grapefruit gone wrong.
It's like if sadness had a flavor.
That's the spirit of Chicago right there.
Well, now I can say I've officially survived Malort. Do people actually enjoy this?
It grows on you, much like fungus.
Next time you're trying something I pick. Ever heard of fermented shark?
Wait, that's a thing?
Payback's going to be interesting, my friend.
Then the scene ends with us both laughing. The bottle of Malort is still on the counter, a symbol for the adventurous spirit and the spirit of Chicago. And scene. What do you think?
Silent clapping.
Oh, we got clapping back there. So I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I forgot to mention Malort and Savior. We got Pete, Rex, and Jim on the show. I don't know why I said David. We don't have a David on the show tonight. David Perry's not here.
We
with
can
us.
find one for you.
Can you, gentlemen? Thank you so much for being on the show. All right, as professional artists over there, I need your critique on this commercial that I've come up with.
I think it was really interesting that you turned Malort into a D&D campaign. That's a nice little one-shot we had there. Yeah, really came outy on that one.
I think you did a good job in doing what a lot of liquor commercials fail to do. You set Malort apart. You didn't say it was great. You just made people curious. Like, I gotta know. And that's the thing. Like, alcohol's alcohol. It sells itself, you know. You don't need to make a commercial for it. But to choose one specifically, you got to be a little curious. And Malort's going to send you on an adventure. Don't know where you're going to wake up. Don't know if you're going to wake up. But it'll be an adventure.
Yeah, no, it is definitely an interesting drink. And while I do, I know I keep saying I legitimately enjoy this. I feel like I have to sell it to myself because this is a unique drink, and it is definitely something that is like it is a symbol of Chicago. And you guys have taken this drink and you have such a passion for it. You have imbued it into your overall persona.
Yes.
Yeah. And
you know, it starts out as a meme for everyone, I think, but you have it a couple of times and you go, this ain't too bad. You don't have hangovers usually with it.
Yeah. Well, you don't drink enough and you throw up before you get too drunk. So, I mean, that's the nice thing.
It's 40%.
I hear what you're saying. It's like Carly Rae Jeppson. It's like, yeah, you're listening as a joke at first, and then you're like, all right, well, hold on. It's actually really good. Oh yeah, Carly Rae Jeppson. I didn't even think of that.
So you guys are from Chicago. You have chosen Malort as your symbol, your sigil, if you will, for this
Absolutely.
band that you guys have created. And you guys are absolutely amazing. I was talking to you guys earlier. I am a big fan of your album Big Mess.
Thank
I
you.
very
Thank
much
you.
love oh my god, I'm going to script the name. And that's
Be
the worst
cool
part
or
of me. Yeah,
beat
Be
it.
Cool or Beat It.
I really
Yeah,
thought he was
uh,
about to say Bacobi. And I was like, how did he know
How did he
that?
know?
That's what we call it, Bacobi. Be cool or
But no one
beat
else
it.
knows that.
Bacobi. I like that.
Bacobi.
Bacobi. I want to start doing that.
You were about to really impress me there.
That's
I
deep
live to
band
disappoint.
lore.
You know, if it's not you guys, it's my wife. So, you know, or my parents. So, but gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. I definitely want to delve in your guys' origin story here. I want to comprehend and wrap my mind, like a lot of Chicago. Like I said, Malort is definitely a symbol, but you guys have decided that this is your sigil and have built this band around it. What made you decide on Malort?
It was kind of well, this is definitely like a 6-year long bit at
Uh-huh.
this point. And more or less, besides the origin story, it's just like we've been like pop punk, emo, metal, like alternative guys, every one of us is forever.
Mm.
And you know, pop punk, emo, it's an acquired taste. So is Jeppson's Malort. It just so happens to kind of work both ways.
Coincides for sure.
Yeah.
I think it always starts, like I said, it starts off as a meme for everyone. And then it's like,
Yeah,
we're just going to keep going, baby.
that was
till
the thing,
wheels
because like we
fall
were
off.
debating,
Yeah.
we were really going back and forth on two names, and it was between Malort and Savior, which I did not like at all. I was not against it. And the other name idea was Disappointing Our Parents. You know, another bit name. It's like, hey guys, we're disappointing our parents.
Thanks for coming out tonight.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think that's just got too many syllables. In retrospect, I'm really happy that we ended on Malort and Savior.
Dude, you're like legitimately, it's clever on many levels. It does embody the Chicagoland area. It does it's a clever little pun. You know, it's
a good foot in the door for people. I've
really
realized.
is.
It's our gimmick, you know.
How many people have discovered you just on the name alone and said, "Holy cow, I love that name"?
It's got to be all of
I
them.
think the name's
everyone.
been, like, the
It's
big
got to
one.
be every single one of our fans minus our
So
wives.
take that, Brendan.
Yeah. Well, the it just so happened like who showed you that comment on Facebook, Pete?
I
Oh,
don't know.
Kevin?
There's the biggest TikTok video we have on the account right now. It just happened to be like a throwaway
It's
of
Nick's
like,
buddy.
Yeah.
oh, Nick's buddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to Nick and Nick's buddy, who shall remain nameless. But
I
they,
already said it.
it's like this guy puts a face. He doesn't really know who Nick is connected to, but Nick's friend just says his Facebook post like, I found these guys on TikTok called Malort and Savior, and I don't care what they sound like, their name is fucking great. And that is now by order of like tens of magnitude the biggest video we have right now. So the name works.
It's
It
our
works.
marketing draw for
Yeah.
sure. Is the joke name? 'Cause,
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
there's so many other bands that are so much better than us. So if we can't compete with them musically or technically,
And we
we're gonna
can't.
compete with them through humor because we're pretty good at that.
Okay, first off, yes, absolutely. You guys are freaking hilarious. So with that, that's actually the video I found, and I think it's awesome. Whatever your algorithm is, it's freaking working because I'm out in Connecticut, and
Yeah.
nothing on my TikTok algorithm even remotely brings up Chicago or
Yeah.
anything to do
That
with that
is-
area. So the fact that it, and even music in general, it's kind of I legitimately watch it for like stupid nerdy stuff all the time, like
Mhm.
D&D and random things, and it popped up, and that legitimately was that video, and I go, oh my god, I want to talk to these guys. And then, so I went and started like listening. I hit up Kevin. I was like, dude, check these guys out. They're from my home area. They're punk rock. They got the emos sound to them. Let's check them out. And we very much enjoyed it. And I was like, all right, let's hit these guys up. And here we are. I know we just lost one of you guys real quick.
He's just picking up
he'll
our
be back.
order. Yeah, he
Okay.
just ordered Malort for this interview.
Um, So how did you guys become the band? Like, were you just like, how many, is there 7 of you?
Yeah, Jim, this is probably a question for you.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is, and I love this because Rexy was actually like in the alpha, but there's a bar out in the farther suburbs called Dirty Nelly's. They have karaoke, or they used to. We would karaoke all over the suburbs, but lead singer Taylor and Rexy were at this bar doing karaoke, singing all of these songs. They're like, we know people who can play instruments. We sing this to each other all the time. Why don't we just make a band? And then they asked me. Then they asked like Brendan, and I think we've had about 4 other guitar players.
I know what you guys are talking about, but something more important came up.
Oh my god! Yes. I love that you left and they immediately asked about the origin story.
Oh,
yeah. Sit down.
You didn't get to tell it, but
cool. Did you get it?
I think
rewrite history, Rexy.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Oh,
Okay.
You and Taylor at Dirty Nelly's, then me.
were you there that night?
I don't know.
So yeah, Taylor, our lead singer, we always karaoke. Jim used to run most of the nights. Taking Back Sunday, Cute Without the E was like our biggest song because they got the 2 vocal parts in it, and we love pop punk music. But we just been doing it for years.
Does that taste like $40?
And one night at Dirty Nelly's, we were just like, why don't we do this for real? Like, we could sing, we could play instruments. I think we texted Jim at like 1 a.m, and there was no like, why are you texting me? What is this? It was just yes. He was already in. And then who'd we pick up next?
I think you picked up Brendan next.
I think it was Brendan.
Yeah, Brendan.
One of our guitarists.
A couple others, and then Pete.
Yeah, Brendan was my roommate at the time, and he started going off to these practices and was like, "Oh, Pete, you've played a little bit of keyboard. You want to come in, see if it works?" And kind of did.
And so then you ended up being all the social media guy afterwards. They gave you all the hard labor.
Pete's just the captain of this shit right
Pete
now,
is
and he hates that.
I don't like being known as the leader.
Pete is the let's say the CVO, the chief vibe officer.
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. With Malort Savior, I played keyboard, and we started off as a cover band, and shocker to no one, not every song has keys in it, but I'm not gonna sit there and look like a schmuck on stage. So I was just kind of like the vibe guy. I don't know if you've ever seen the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, but they got this just one fan who was not allowed to get into a bar with them when they were all under 21. So they said, "Oh well, he's part of the band. He's only 18. He's part of the band." So all he did was dance around, sing a couple harmonies, and do nothing. And it just kind of stuck. He was just part of the band. So I kind of took inspiration from the Mighty Boss Tones, saying, okay, you know what? I'm just going to do that. I'll be the vibe guy for half of these songs. And then, eventually I tried to ingratiate myself into the band enough to start like writing a lot of the originals. So, that's the only real reason, or the only way I could make keyboard kind of work in songs now. So
you had to manipulate them in. Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
get that. Like, that's
exactly.
awesome.
I needed the job security, so I started writing a lot of our songs.
So
and now it's just Helsinki syndrome, and here we are.
How did you guys?
Actually, the first. Be quiet, Steve.
Oh
That's
no!
The first show I ever went to, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones at Toad Place in New Haven.
Oh yeah.
And, no, it was Webster and Hartford, and I saw that guy dancing. I'm like,
yeah.
Is this just a thing that bands do? I had no idea.
He's just the
first
vibe
show.
guy.
That guy's awesome.
I think it's very unique to the Boss Tones.
It's like Thomas with us. He's our vibe guy. He just shows up every once in a while. How did you guys decide on a sound? What made you decide which way you wanted to go with your music?
I mean, I think we always knew it was going to be pop punk emo. Just all of us were pretty much full ship on that. Pete brought in one of our first originals, which I think kind of kickstarted us into a direction, and then we wrote versus reality.
That was the first one we put down.
That was like our first as a band writing together. Pete brought in Fresh Tattoo from when he was like 13 or something.
Yeah, so the first couple songs that we actually put to record were Versus Reality and Fresh Tattoo, and that was on our EP, Strong Independent Songs That Don't Need No album. And I mean, Fresh Tattoo I wrote when I was in college, and Versus Reality we all like wrote together, and it's obviously just going to be influenced by what we listened to in our heyday, in our prime. You know what I mean? Like once you turn like 30, you stop looking for new music. I mean, I like to think that I always got my ears open looking for new stuff, but like I'm always going to listen to the shit that I liked when I was 18. You know what I mean? So we're set in that. So we're probably always going to be in the pop punk emo vein.
Absolutely. No, I absolutely agree. I think some of my go-to bands still, and I cringed when I saw them on stage again, was like The Offspring. And
man.
I was just gonna say, I think once you get over 30, it's harder to be in these bands too.
Yeah, we played a show over the summer. It was an evening in July
in Paris.
A west-facing stage, and we were just getting absolutely baked.
Is that Grace Lake?
That was
baked
Grace
by the
Lake.
sun.
Yeah. I've never felt more over 30 than that particular show.
Oh my god, yeah.
Sweating.
Well, because that felt bad, because that was a Battle of the Bands show, and the first band that went on was the School of Rock Grays Lake, and they were a bunch of 13-year-olds, and I said, oh no, are we about to compete in a Battle of the Bands with a bunch of preteens? Because I'm gonna feel really bad.
It's like that scene from Step Brothers when they're just fighting the kids.
Because I mean, the next band, those guys were like 17, 18 or so, and then finally some adults went on, and I was like, oh my god, thank god, because I think we went like what?
To be fair, luckily the School of Rock was not counted in it. We found that out post.
School of Rock was really good.
Like we were gonna beat them.
I mean, they were legitimately very good. They were playing more like classic rock songs, but they were very like technically skilled. But like, I would have felt terrible if they were actually competing.
So the image that goes through my head right now is, you ever watch It's Always Sunny in Philly?
Every day.
All right, you remember the scene when like Charlie and them are like beating up like the little 13-year-old kids for the bike? Yes.
Yeah.
That's what's going through my head, was just like with you guys, just up there.
Oh, that's what was going through our heads too. As soon as I saw those little kids like get off the stage, I'm like, I could take them. I could take your dad too.
You guys won that one too, didn't you? You guys ended up winning. Yeah,
we did. Yeah.
So that's awesome. What was I going to say? Oh my gosh, I had a question. Totally slipped my mind. All of It's Always Sunny was going through my head like after that. Well, so Pete, you do write the songs. So
I write some of them.
You write some.
I write a lot of them.
Sorry.
I write a lot of them.
I'd say lyrically, it's mainly Pete and Taylor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pete usually comes to us with like a bass of like, this is kind of what I got going. Like he'll bring me like bass, and it's like, okay, now I'm gonna. I don't play ska music at all, but I like to refer to it as skying it up, because I don't like playing bass as just dun dun dun.
Yeah, no, I just give him like four. I think of a chord progression. I write lyrics to it. I record it into Ableton.
So
I don't mix
like
it at all.
Walks and all that,
and then I send it to all these guys, and then like these guys are like the talent of the band. I'm kind of like the idea guy. So I give them the idea, and they turn it into music.
You're the hype man. You're the hype man. Yeah, there you go.
Who just writes all of our music?
But I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
So your process is, you just come up with this. You come up with a somewhat of an idea, and then you just evolve it as a team, or do you like, hey, I've got this really cool song, let me just put this out here.
Yeah.
I'd say like
or a little bit of
individual of us gets it like 70 to 80% of the way, and then we send it over to everybody else. We all bring it in.
If we all get in the room at the same time and say, let's write music, it's gonna be 4 hours of absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like tuning and dan. Now nobody's paying attention to each other, so nothing would get done.
Yeah, I think writing is a 1 or 2 person process, and then you got to bring it to everybody else once the skeleton of the song is done.
So when you guys had your first song and you were doing your first recording, can you kind of walk us through what was that moment like for you guys? What was going through your guys' heads, and what were you thinking like afterwards?
Yeah.
Oh God, I just remember being so frustrated the first songs that we recorded. When we recorded our first EP, Strong Independent Songs That Don't Need No album, I remember us just sitting in the basement studio that we were in, hungry, tired, and just doing take after take after take after take, because we would keep messing something up or getting something a little bit wrong. We didn't really fully understand what comping was. We didn't understand what
Well, we had Joey.
Yeah.
Joey was our guitarist on hiatus. He's gonna hate me for saying that. He set everything up. He mic'd up the drum kit. He was micing up the amps and everything, and he recorded us all. And yeah, it was take after take after take.
So it's like basically, you know, we're a 6-person band at this point, and there's like one person just going take.
The rest of us in the front room pounding beers.
Yeah, and just like kind of like frustrated on our phones and like, this is.
Well, that was also the
disheartening.
problem.
Yeah.
When we started doing that, we were a couple of years in, and it's that space where maybe we drink a little too much Malort and a little too much beer in this basement.
Yeah, never seen that.
And you know, we're just so comfortable in this space, which is unlike any time you go to if you go to any sort of more professional environment, you're just gonna do better.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so when we
Yes.
decided to like record a Big Mess, I said, okay, look guys, that first experience recording, that was a real slog, and I felt like a lot of the energy was drained out of us in that moment. So let's go to a real studio. We booked about 2 days at a place called Gravity Studios here in Chicago.
Shout out to Gravity Studios here in Chicago.
Pretty awesome place.
Fantastic
Fall Out Boy,
guys.
Rise Against. I mean,
Yeah.
big artists went through there.
And my philosophy behind it was like, look, if we're on the clock, if we're paying for our studio time, and like we have to be locked in, everyone's gonna like bring their A game to this recording session, and I think that was a lot better. It helped us a lot.
That was like for me, besides House of Blues, we can talk about that later,
Yeah.
but that was like the first like, oh shoot, this is like
Yeah.
cool. Like we're in a studio.
We're in
you
a
got
real place.
the mix board.
Yeah.
Like you walk in and it's like, oh, I'm not good enough to play here.
It didn't feel like a garage band operation anymore.
It was it was very professional. Was it Danny David who was our shoot?
I think it was
David, I think.
Yeah.
David, I'm sorry if you hear this and it's not you and you're Danny, but either one of you were amazing. It was a surreal experience of just being in a real studio for that one.
And then we ended up hooking up with this guy, Joe Scaletta. He's from Word of Mouth Recordings, and he's a mixing, mastering, like just wizard. We just heard about him through a couple other local bands, and I'm like, look, I really want this like refined professional sound. Let's get him on board. And like, you know, he was nice enough to take us on and mix and master our songs, and I think that they sounded, you know, fantastic compared to our first album. So it kind of made me feel like, I don't want to say a real band because they're all real, but I felt more real when that came out.
Was that the moment where you're like, this might be a professional thing that we're doing at this moment?
I would never call it
I
professional.
was gonna say, I don't think I've ever gotten to a point of professional.
Yeah, do not be fooled. We all have day jobs.
Oh no,
Yeah.
But you know, this DJ at this place called Beauty Bar, which we'll get into later.
yeah.
He reached out to Taylor, our lead singer, and said, "Oh, you know, I never thought you guys actually had it in you when our first single dropped." And I was like, "Well, we've released music before, so what do you mean by that?"
I think you can read between the lines, which are
Yeah, he's like,
non-existent.
"Okay,
He said
this
what
is
he
a
said.
real song. You guys actually
Yeah.
produced something real." And I'm like, "Oh, well, thank you."
Yeah.
It's like someone noticing that you lost a lot of weight. It's like, well, you never said anything before. That's odd. You were always saying I was so good looking before, but now I'm like, what, extra good looking? Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's so. All right. Because we kind of were talking about, you know, you beating the 13-year-olds up. That's awesome. And you kind of mentioned
13-year-olds. That's what we love to do. No, we're a pop punk band.
Let's talk about, what was your guys' first gig, and what was your guys' favorite gig?
Oh man,
Our first ever gig was Lily's birthday
Lily's,
party.
yeah.
Oh my
Lily's-
god, that's right.
Shout out to Lily.
Shout
Our
out to Lily.
guitarist's fiance now.
Yes.
Nancy. Yeah.
She
Girlfriend
had
at
us
the
in
time.
her her
20-something
what was it, like a
birthday.
2-flat apartment, but we were on the bottom floor.
Oh
We were
no,
on the
that
top
was
floor.
that was the top
Shoved
floor.
in the middle of Chicago in these little tiny streets.
Mhm.
Had us play in her living room.
Like a house show.
If anybody remembers Facebook, that might be the very first like video and pictures that are
Yes.
still on there.
If you go on our page and scroll back a bit, you'll
yeah,
see.
so
very
it was like a
grainy,
party
terrible
in an
videos.
apartment on the second floor of an apartment. We had to get the blessing of the people downstairs, and then the 6 of us all had to kind of pile up in just one area of the apartment and play on
It truly was amazing.
the most rockin' show ever. I mean, it was great. There was
I think
good
the
energy.
house party vibe is just top tier.
It really was.
Just take a house party wherever we go.
And then our
that's
our
the
first
plan.
official gig was at the Elbow Room. Pour one out for the Elbow Room because they're unfortunately closed. I think COVID got them. But the Elbow Room is a place here in Chicago
They
that
set us up multiple times.
yeah, they really hooked us up and gave us our first little break. So we gave them a little shout out in B Kobe. When we say F Park Bars in Wicker Park, I need some elbow room.
Elbow room is not like
It's a double
literally elbow
entendre.
room.
Yes,
Yeah,
I need
sure.
elbow room, but I want some elbow room. That's the name of the venue that we first played at. So we gave them a little shout out.
Nice.
Personally, my favorite gig that we ever played was right here in this basement when we released Big Mess. We did a house show. We were just set up like right over there. I know this is an audio podcast. You can't see me, but trust me, the vibes were immaculate. We had LED lights set up. We went to Party City, got a bunch of confetti, rolled out like
It was
a
a
fake
badass
red
show.
carpet. Got all of our friends totally eschewed whatever the fire marshal would want us performing in here, and then got maybe like 100 people or so in here just jamming out here in the basement.
Let's say it felt like 100.
It felt like 100.
Might have been like 40, but
And my wife was very supportive of it. She did not
was,
come
yeah.
down and try to shut us down.
Shout out
Yeah.
to Kristen.
thank you.
Yeah, shout out to Kristen,
Yes.
my wife. She is the best. She lets us practice here.
Yeah.
In the house that we have now, it's fantastic. So I think like house shows, man, like I'm 32 now, and the idea of a house show is very like kind of college, high schoolish, but the vibes are still great, man, for house shows.
It's a different kind of
Nothing beats it.
energy. It's
Yeah.
a unique
Very
kind
up
of
close
energy.
and personal. You can see everyone.
And I could drink as much as I want and
drink
not
as
worry
much
about
as
how
you
I'm getting
want.
home.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, shoot. I mean, House of Blues was awesome for the fact of just being at House of Blues.
For sure.
We were part of I Am Fest, which is kind of like local Chicagoland area stuff. But we opened for the Thomas Ian Nicholas band. Who's he? Rookie of the Year and American Pie.
Thomas Ian Nicholas. Yeah, he was. He
You guys
started
seen
Rookie of the Year. He was Kevin
Mm.
from American Pie.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Thomas Ian Nicholas.
Oh,
Super.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
he's got a band.
That's awesome.
Super cool dude. When I was a sound engineer before the world exploded, I mixed them instead of played with them a few times. But it was
Nice.
It's so he's a very cool guy. So it was great to share a stage with him.
Yeah, and I mean it was House of Blues, which is
And it
just,
was
like,
House of Blues.
awesome.
Yeah, that
And
was-
you know we got like the whole green room experience,
Oh,
the whole professional sound. That was super awesome. But yeah, I don't know if you can top the house party shows, Lily's or here.
Yeah, absolutely.
If
How
we could
is the
just
music
set
scene
up
in
living rooms in
Chicago?
different places, I'd be willing to do that.
I mean, the music scene in Chicago has been more or less the same, fortunately, from what I remember, like in my teenage years band.
'Cause I know like Lawrence Arm, the Alkaline Trio, those guys from over there. Are there a lot
Yeah,
of
A
a
lot of
big
good bands
bands?
And-
here.
Fall Out Boy also claims to be from Chicago, but
They're not from Chicago.
they're-
I feel like
They're
there's,
suburban kids.
I feel like, and this is like the old us talking now. I feel like with streaming coming along, Spotify, iTunes, all this, it takes away a lot from shows. Because I feel like when I was in high school and stuff, it was like, oh, like let's go look at their merch, let's look at their CDs. You know, it's just
Yeah.
that whole experience with it. And now it's like you just go to the show and there's the band. It's still fun, obviously, but I just feel like there's a vibe missing. Part of that
Sure,
aspect.
sure. Some of the
But-
locality is
Damn kids and
Yeah.
their internet.
but I mean, at the same time, you can still be just as connected. We literally did this a couple hours ago. First plug of the night. Bourbon on Division. Friday, February 16th. We're playing a show. We were reaching out to a dozen different people that were super interested in getting to know better, who we played with before, all this stuff. One of those guys actually got back to us today, who we played with before. I hope we can we say it?
Farhampton?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a band we've hung out with, very like some more local dudes, named Farhampton.
It's like an hour ago. They
Yeah, like
confirmed,
literally an
so
hour
don't
ago.
be
We
that's
put a
good.
show
That's
together.
awesome.
Yeah. It was great. But like that's the stuff I remember, is being able to connect, and it was a little not as easy to do, you know, back in 2006. But
Yeah, true.
Well, Chicago's
you
a big
can-
city. You
there's a
got a
hit or
lot of
miss and
options. There's a
things.
lot of good bands around here, and I feel like there's a lot of good bands that we have a shot of actually playing with. We're not a huge band at all,
Well,
by any means. Like, there's like this huge band, this pop punk band called Real Friends around here. We
Oh,
were
yeah.
like, oh, maybe we should ask them to play. It's like, no, they probably don't even run their own social media. But
Well, let me ask you this.
We got
Be-
such a huge talent pool. Sorry. go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, no, you're fine. Yeah. I guess we're kind of aging ourselves here, you know. Do you, because you're talking about like social media, you're talking about like technology in the future and how everything is now versus when we were younger. Do you feel like the underground scene, the scene that we grew up with, is it, I don't want to say it's dead, but is it dwindling away? Is it going the way of ska? You know, just fading away.
it's so
Ska is
it's
not
funny. The very first thing that comes to my mind when we think about that is, when I think about that is there you go, bud.
There we go.
So you guys, you know, you heard of the Congress Theater
Mm.
down on Milwaukee Avenue, and now I just happen to live not too far away from there, right next to the Congress. There's this little like storefront place called the Box Social, and my old ska punk trio back in the day has played there. When the Congress went, that place went. Right across the street over there, there was a place called Ponchos, which turned into, no, it was Township, and then it turned into Ponchos, then it closed down, and now it's something else. I mean, things shut down and things are changing. I don't think it's entirely gone away. But man, maybe we're just not the right age
feel
to
like a lot
know
of
about
the-
the house shows and shit.
A lot of
Underground sticks to like venues too. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's that.
I mean, like one of the number one comments that we ever get from like people who just discover us say, "Oh, you remind me of the stuff I used to listen to when I was 18." So like in a way, like, you know, like our style of music is a little bit dated a little bit, because, you know, we do go back a little like 20 years or so for a lot of our
Don't get me
inspiration.
started on
But at
new
the same
pop punk
time, like
music.
pop punk and emo is, I think, still very alive and thriving and making its way into like a bunch of other genres.
It's too
Travis
poppy.
Barker produces like everyone and their mother in Hollywood, so they're all putting out like a bunch of new like emo inspired like hip hop and rap and like trap and stuff. So like I think that the idea of like the pop punk genre is still very much alive today, but it's getting absorbed into newer genres, which I think is fantastic because it keeps me current. Like I will listen to like Machine Gun Kelly, like he was like a rapper for like 10 years.
Yeah,
or
because
so, and
because
then,
Eminem killed his career with like,
well, I had never heard about him until he went pop punk, but then he went pop punk. I'm like, all right, I'm in. I don't know what you were about before, but I'm totally into this. So like,
really?
Fall Out Boy, Taking Back
Really?
Sunday.
Oh, I don't know
Anyone comes
anything.
at us,
Yeah.
we're not stopping.
Well, like, okay, I put he's not as Papa Roach is not as bad as Machine Gun Kelly, because Machine Gun Kelly literally changed completely
terrible, though.
genres.
oh,
But, like,
100%.
But Papa Roach went from like this angry, you know, cut my life into pieces to like singing these happy-go-lucky poppy songs, which is, you know, that's fine as you evolve as an artist, but also like, you know, that's like me saying, hey, you know, System of a Down went to go writing like jazz songs. It was just like it was such a weird transition for me, because like
Yeah.
I think like Cut My Life into Pieces by Papa Roach, and you know, I'm just like, yeah, and then he's like all happy and I'm like, huh, okay, that's
What happened?
yeah, well, did you discover
wanna be
love, sir?
angry.
Yeah, go back to being angry. But I also discovered cool bands like The Who because of him, not like WHO, but like HU, like, which is this like Mongolian
The Who.
rock band.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, they're freaking amazing. Yeah, they've got some sweet stuff out
Trying
there.
to tube and throat sing
Yeah.
right there.
That's not something you just improv. It takes like years of training. Like, I'll give it a go. I can do Mongolian
Malort
throat
Savior,
sing
debate
that.
and throat singing coming soon.
Well, going off of Rex's attempt at throat singing there, let's talk about some of the challenges you guys have faced. Like every band has had their ups and downs. What would you guys say is some of the biggest challenges you guys have faced?
Life.
Yeah, like Pete
Getting
mentioned,
older, man.
Yeah, getting older.
Yeah.
Everybody's got day jobs. Some people decide to have kids. Lots of people are married.
Idiots.
Get
Bastard.
married.
Oh my god. Don't do what I did. I had twins.
yeah, just finding time to practice, play live shows, do all the stuff like it. That's tough as you get older. You get why it's a young man's game very much. Like if you don't have a lot of ties in the world yet, perfect time. If you're our age, it's a little tougher. So like I think a lot of us have kind of resigned ourselves to just always kind of being the fun Chicago band that's all we're gonna be. I don't want to call our shots, but I'm fine with that. I'm fine with being the meme band. I'm fine with being the silly internet band.
Well, if somebody wants to sign us and like pay us millions.
Oh no,
so we don't have to
100%. Yeah,
work,
no. I'll leave my wife
Yeah.
if you want to take us on tour. I'll leave all this. That's fine.
Dude,
But until that happens, we're totally fine with where we're at.
No, yeah, you know what? All I'm saying is I got a lot of PTO because I work all the time. So it's great.
All right.
Well, so
Yeah,
told
so
me
it's
you
just-
guys. He gave me your name. And I was like, he's like, oh, we got a band for the show. I'm like, I was in a band. They probably suck. But then I
Oh, yeah.
listened.
Oh, we do. No.
The first song I
Evan,
heard
we
was
do.
your Jimmy Eat World cover, which was awesome.
You heard that?
And then, yeah, that's the first thing I
on
googled your name,
Facebook?
and that came right up. But
Yeah,
then,
we-
Sam
I think we
Wainwright's
posted it on
Away in New
Facebook.
York and all
Yeah,
those
we
other
did.
names. I got
Yeah.
serious Blink-182 vibes.
Thank
and
you.
Me and Steve are getting dangerously close to 40. And
Shut
but
up.
we grew up listening to that, and they're still good.
Gross.
They're still putting out new music.
Yeah.
But no, you guys sound good.
You
Thank
really do.
you.
Like
Thank you.
legit.
Yes,
You
man.
guys are absolutely, and this is not like us just like hyping you up. This is legit. You guys have a really good sound, and I've added it to my YouTube playlist that I do every day, and that's when I deliver mail. It's actually, I think it's like song number 3 right now that comes up.
Nice.
Yeah. So like
Yes,
it's
I
I'm
think a
sitting there-
big part that comes with that is us as well. I always think we say our character on stage and who we are is what shines out as well. Not to knock on everyone's got their own processes and whatnot, but like I have like known Jim and Taylor since I was like 15. So there's that complex. And then they've known Pete and Brendan and Joey forever too. And
Mhm.
through that, I feel like I know them too now since I'm like 15. So we have this interconnection of it's just not like, oh, we're bandmates. It's like I'd trust these guys with anything in my life. And I think with that, it just comes out onto the stage as like we could do anything we want and take over the world.
100%.
It's like
Yeah.
it's such a good connection between us all. And I think that's what makes us really fun as well, because we do suck live a lot too. Taylor doesn't know the words half the time.
Oh,
Half of us are screwing up our
quarter of the
instruments,
time.
except
No,
for Jim.
no,
He doesn't
no,
screw
no,
up
no.
anything. But the way that we
used
just
to be
play
us.
through it and
We
keep
just-
having fun, yeah, it's like nobody cares.
No. We used to suck. As of February 16th, we're actually amazing now. So
Yeah, we actually we have gotten
Yeah.
a lot better. Pete's basement show, I was like, holy crap, we actually know how to play now. It only took us 6 years, but we got there.
So obviously you guys have a lot of fun on stage. You guys very much interact with your fans. What are some of the
Yes.
yeah Pete does a great job on social media. What are actually some of your like most memorable interactions with your fans?
I got recognized for the first time ever at a bar in Milwaukee
Dude,
the other day.
yeah?
That was cool as hell.
That was kind of cool. Probably the only time that will ever happen. Someone's like, "Oh, you Malort Savior?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, I just saw you guys on TikTok." I'm like, "Thank you." I think I was wearing a Malort Savior shirt. I was
We
wearing
made
this
it.
shirt, and she's like, "I love that band." And I'm like, "Yeah, they're great." She's like, "Are you in it?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
That's probably one of my best fan interactions. But other than that, just people buying us free shots of Malort is fantastic.
I was gonna say this could be a segue into beauty bar as well.
Yeah, go for
which
it.
is just everyone that we know. So Beauty Bar hosts, Brian Buckley specifically hosts emo versus pop punk nights. It's Sunday nights, no cover, all pop punk emo music from 9 till 2 a.m.
Every Sunday night.
And so that for us too is just like everyone that we know is there, and it's a huge party of everyone just screaming emo pop punk songs all night. So it's like anyone that's seen our shows is there too. So it's just one big party all the time, and we're just like always with our fans. They're all like
they're
our friends.
Yeah. They're our friends.
But
Yeah,
it's just like it's like we get off the stage and we do all that, but then we can just go party Sunday night with everyone. So
that's awesome. Now you guys have all mentioned that you know this is not what you do. You have an outside life outside of the band. You guys have professions and everything. You know, let's talk about like just relaxing and chilling. Like, what are some like when you guys aren't making music? What are some of your favorite things to do? Like, how do you just like vibe out when you're not thinking about Malort or making music inspired by Malort?
I'm a professional golfer. No, I would like to be. Yeah, I golf a lot. I just hang out with the wife and kid now. I got an 8-month-old, soon to be 9 months.
Congratulations.
So that has, I'm a truck driver too. The truck driving is the worst part of it all. The kid has not been the holdup in this thing. It's the damn truck driving. But other than working the kid, yeah, golfing and I really just listen to music all the time at home too.
I really can't wait for the first show that AJ's at a Baby Bjorn, like fucking rocking. There's our one. There's the one. There it is.
Yeah, so like Malort Savior's taking a lot of my personal time lately. A lot of.
I think Pete just edits stuff at home when we're not around.
I probably put in around 25, 30 hours to the band every week or so. But outside of that, these days, other than making music, play a lot of video games. I rock climb. Those are my kind of mainstays, keeping me sane. But honestly, Malort Savior has become my second job, and I love it so much. So it's definitely what I find myself doing 99% of the time in my free time.
Where are you rock climbing in Chicago?
Just gyms.
No,
like,
just
every once in a while.
Just goes up to random buildings and starts climbing it.
Every once in a while, I'll go out to like Devil's Lake in Wisconsin and do some real outdoors climbing, or I'll go out to Denver, meet my buddy, and we'll go out like to the mountains there. But 99% of the time, I'm just in a gym climbing, and rock climbers are like the coolest people in the world. So just a good place to hang.
Nice. I got it. You made a joke there. Did you not catch your own? God, dad jokes galore. So I kind of want to wrap this up a little bit here, because you guys did choose Malort and Savior as your name. And what is Chicago's obsession with Malort?
It's what's not to love.
It's a challenge, is what it is.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge and a prank.
I mean,
everyone's just like, "Oh, you've never had Malort? Oh, you gotta try." I hate when people go, "Oh, you gotta try Malort. It's disgusting." Let people try it.
No.
Because you put that in their head and they're just gonna take and go, ugh.
No.
You just give someone Malort and don't tell them anything, they'll just be like, some might be like, whatever.
It's like giving someone a gag gift. You give it to them and you see their reaction. Their reaction is really what you want. You hype it up. You say it's really good. You know that they don't want to hurt your feelings because you're hosting them. They're from out of town. They're from all the way out in Connecticut or whatever. They're like, well, I got to pretend to like the things that this guy likes. So you take it. They take a shot of it. You're like, isn't it good? And then you see how good of a liar they are. And that can be important information for any of your relationships.
I just love the the commercial that you put together at the begining. You caught on campaign. Yeah. You caught on to the fact that Malort tastes like a concept. Like it's like if sadness had a flavor. Like
yep.
It is what an elemental would drink if it came up and haunted you out of the ground.
Yeah, it's not just one taste. It's like an event.
Oh, it's a temperamental beast. You get good bottles, you get bad bottles.
There are very mealy bottles sometimes.
There are some
very good bottles. Yeah. Sometimes
Oh
you
my
gotta
God.
look too. You gotta see a little bit that shade of dark orange.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's when you know you got it, baby.
There's like, have you guys?
It's whiskey barrel and wine barrel age, right? Like those are the two
Oh,
types.
Wait, there's
No.
more than one type of Malort?
oh well, yeah.
Well, they do special runs of like
we
they
got this
did
bourbon Malort, this 25-year over
Oh, yeah.
here. There's a
It
bunch
was-
of different.
It is a Jeppson's bourbon. It is not bourbon Malort.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
Yes.
sorry, it is their bourbon.
They
See?
did do the anti-hero Malort is the Revolution Brewery anti-hero IPA barrels they aged Malort in. That's as far as I remember, that might be it. But
All right.
that one tastes like if Malort actually had a bad day itself and was taking it out on you.
I mean,
It
yeah,
came
an
home.
IPA with Malort in
Yeah.
it.
It came home and dinner was not ready yet, and Malort is angry. That one was rough.
Oh, that's awesome.
The look on Steve's face when you guys started talking about different kinds of Malort.
Oh, I got excited. I'm so
The kind he let
excited.
me have was aged in a gas can.
Well,
So-
make sure you get us your address. We'll send you some.
Oh my god, dude, I
Oh,
love
yeah.
I
Can we
legit
send
like
liquor
I
through
Do
do.
you
the
send
mail?
liquor through the mail? You
So-
guys are mailmen. You would know,
No,
right?
so not to promote our competitors here. FedEx, you can send it through FedEx, and I think you can do UPS, but you can't do through the post office.
Okay, so USPS
So-
only does
Technically.
like hard drugs, right?
Technically,
Technically, this once upon it was actually during COVID. There was a guy in Oklahoma City that was like, "Can anybody hook me up?" I'm like, "Dude, I got you." Yeah, yeah. So, yes, like you said, I went to FedEx and I said that I needed to deliver a present of glassware. I didn't say what it was filled with, but
It worked.
I sent off my present of glassware to my friend, and he got his glassware, and he really
Nice.
enjoyed it. It was great. So
I think you could technically say it's aged. It's a glassware full of aged wormwood. I think that would be.
Ooh,
that-
technically,
yeah,
you're
that's
right.
even better.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
Absolutely.
then it
Loopholes.
sounds like you're in a coven, and they are not going to screw with you after that.
Now, that being said, if anybody gets caught for this, we are not legally, obligated to help you out in any such manner. You guys are your own adults and responsible for your own bad decisions.
Heads of Dirty Ambitions will pay for all legal.
So, the reason I asked you this because my concept of why people like Malort is the Midwest. Like I lived in the Midwest in Indiana from 2010 to 2000 or no sorry 2000 to 2005. So I lived up there for 5 years. And dude, I promise you there is no winter that I've ever felt as cold is up there around
That damn
Chicago.
lake, man.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
That
Lake
lake
Mish
screws
is just like
everything.
the devil. It's god awful.
It
Oh
is
my
the
We
god.
just, what was it? 3 weeks ago, we had minus 35 wind chill.
Mamma
That was
mia,
just
it
last
something.
week, man. It just felt like ages
that was
ago.
terrible.
Kevin, it makes its own icebergs. It makes these balls of ice
yeah.
and they float onto the beach. I'm not joking. It's
Yeah,
and there's
They'll tear up Lakeshore Drive and everything too.
Oh, yeah.
they come up.
it's insane. And the wind is so I feel like if you can survive a Chicago winter, you can drink
Lord,
anything.
man,
And you can like there is nothing like you're just like this
It's
is
a
better than
prideful
winter.
thing, for sure. I
Yeah.
get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives Chicago its character. It's like relish on a hot dog, or
With relish on a hot dog.
I guess that's not a specific Chicago thing. I don't know.
Isn't
The
like
neon
isn't
green
like
Like
stuff
putting
is-
cheese under the sauce, man. It's just part of
Yeah,
Chicago's
Chicago-style
identity. Don't ask
pizza.
me why it's better.
It's
It
under the
just
sauce.
is.
so I know I'm gonna get some boo hisses here, but I'm sorry. I prefer New York style.
Boo!
Right? I know the show's ended. I get it. I like the greasy slices, like where you fold it in half and you just see the just
Yeah, it's
grease
fine.
dripped out.
I like
Hey,
New York
man,
pizza.
I'll-
It's good.
You know what? I'll give it to you. Chicago tavern style.
Yeah, pub
That's
pizza's
really what.
good.
If you're a real one, that's where it's at.
That's true.
Okay. And
So-
Deep
and
dish
that's-
is more of a tourist thing.
Deep dish,
And-
I don't even consider it pizza. Like when people are comparing it, it's like, look, it's in its own league.
Deep
I
dish is
I
good
wouldn't sully it by
From
putting
like
it.
Blue Malnati's.
Yeah.
You get a nice, it's not a
Yeah.
3-inch. It's an inch and a half. That's good. Giordano's, I call that the tourist pizza all the time. That's literally like a 5-inch pie.
There's
of
a
deep
Giordano's
dish.
in Denver now.
That's like
it's
anyone
not
comes
OG
in and like,
anymore.
oh, let me try deep dish. So I go, all right, I'll bring you to Giordano's. I'm gonna hate it, but here you go.
I love Giordano's.
So Connecticut actually has its own style of pizza too. There's New Haven style pizza.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
heard of
Ooh.
this.
I love
And-
thin crust pizza, and New Haven style is right up my alley, man.
You and Rex, I feel like you and I should just do an episode on pizza and talking about how amazing it is.
I watch Dave a lot, Dave Portnoy, and all the pizzas
The
he
Barstool
eats.
guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. When he goes to New Haven, it's like, man, I'm salivating at those videos.
Well, see, here's what we need to do. You guys need to come up here. You need to
I'd
come
love
do a
to.
show. You bring the Malort, and we will get the pizza, and we will just party it out and have like
House
just
show.
a
There we
great
go.
eye time.
Who's got
Hell
the
yeah,
house?
Yeah, house show.
house,
dude.
hell yeah, we'll do a house show.
Garage show works too.
Yeah.
Garages,
And look, I've got kids around. They're 4 years old, so I got like the cribs. So Rex,
they
your
can
kid is
party.
good, yeah, and your
Yeah.
kid can go
Yeah,
sleep
look,
up
I can
there,
bring my
and we'll
kid,
just part up.
absolutely.
We'll have a
We're
great
good.
time.
Our wives will hang out because they don't like our music. So. My wife's not an avid pop punk emo. She's like a Pantera, Cannibal Corpse, all
Like a
that.
metalhead.
So she's like,
Oh,
"Oh,
Jesus
you're playing
Christ,
pop
you-
punk again, huh?"
You're over here doing like Blink 182, and she's listening to
Yeah.
Gwar.
Listen
So-
to my feelings. Very different.
So one more question about your guys' band and everything. I really want to know is like, if you guys could collaborate with any artist, alive or dead, who would it be and why?
Oh, man. Now, is this 1-to-1 or do we have to
1-to-1. We'll do 1-to-1
right,
because you're
Who do
each
you
your
want
own
to go on
individual.
tour with?
Yeah.
Ooh,
It's got to be Sincere Engineer, our hometown hero.
hometown
Yeah.
hero?
It's very. I feel like it's attainable. I would love to
I
play
think
with them,
as a band choice, absolutely.
but alive or dead. Fall Out Boy when they were good, which is now. So hit us up, Fall Out Boy.
Whenever you play Wrigley,
Yeah,
you
if
need a
Fall Out
strong
Boy
opener.
No, yeah. If we need a strong opener, I feel like we could reach out to Fall Out
Oh
Boy. They
yeah,
might open
totally.
for us.
Yeah,
That'd be
sorry, I
funny.
mixed that up.
Like, guys,
We
come
need
on,
a
that's a
strong-
funny bit. Open for us. Hilarious. Everyone would talk about it.
Be true.
Man, vibes wise, dude, I think we'd get along with Bowling for Soup pretty good.
Oh my god, they're our dads, dude.
They're fun guys.
They are our dads.
So the town I live in, Southington, they're super about this festival called Apple Fest, and they make these like banging like apple fritters and everything. We actually had Bowling for Soup come out and actually play for us, and
Yo,
they
that's
did,
awesome.
and I got to nerd dad out here a little bit. They did the Phineas and Ferb song because they wrote that
Yes.
song,
Yep.
and so that was
That's
a
great.
blast.
Yeah, you got the kids and everything, man.
Mhm.
I think personally for me, I'm gonna go genre here.
Okay.
Pop punk and like that whole style. I'm a huge Max Bemis and Say Anything fan. Definitely any music that I try to write or comes to mind, it's just kind of in that style. They have a very technical bass, technical guitar. Max Bemis has just a crazy dictionary of words in the way he speaks and sings. But other genres like Parkway Drive or Silent Planet, I would love to be just with them screaming my face off and having a great
They're
time
pretty
with them.
So one of my favorite bands, not that I actually play any instruments really well, but one band I would honestly love to try to would have loved to do anything with would have been Real Big Fish. I love some fish.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
buddy.
I've
the
worked
bus.
plenty security shows for them at Dirty Nelly's, and they're probably some of the coolest guys I've ever met.
Oh, yeah?
Was on a boat one time standing right next to Mr. Barrett with his very beautiful associate that he was there with, watching Bowling for Soup, actually. Or was it Cartel?
Was
But
this on the cruise?
this was on the cruise.
The Warped
no.
Tour cruise.
Or no, was this the Coheed one?
No, Warped Rewind at
Oh, it was
Sea,
Warped, yeah.
2017.
Shout
They-
out Warped Tour.
Yeah, shout out Warped Tour.
RIP.
That's, you know what? Screw all the bands. I just
Yeah.
want to play on Warped
I
Tour.
want to play on Warped
Actually,
Tour.
yeah, libraries,
Yeah.
everything.
Forget
we can
about
go
it.
back to like
Okay.
2007 Warped Tour.
Oh my god. I would love to drink fake Monster Energy drink in a hot parking
Sitting
lot.
in Tinley Park.
Haven't showered in like 8 days.
Man, Warped Tour
Oh.
was just the collection of it all, man. For
Riot
sure.
Fest
$20
cannot-
for a chicken tender.
Riot Fest was amazing.
Riot Fest can't stop hating us.
They hate
So we
us.
have to go back in time.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. If
It's like
not
I don't
Riot
know
Fest,
what their
it's Warped
problem
Tour.
is on TikTok, but it's
Nice.
rough.
We make
It's
fun
rough
of
out there.
liars.
We have fun. We have fun on
We have
TikTok
fun.
with them.
Nice. So is there, you did mention you guys got a show coming up again or coming
Yes.
up. So you want to give that like a shout out again, just so we can
Yeah.
refresh in our memories?
Bourbon on Division here in Chicago. February 16th. That's a Friday. We're gonna be playing with our buddy Longboy and Farhampton and ourselves.
And
And
our
then
buddy DJing.
I think our buddy Sam's gonna be DJing as well
gonna
to
be
close out
closing
the
it
end of the night. But we could not be more thrilled to be playing there. We're gonna be playing all of our originals, the good ones, the bad one, all of them. They're
bad
great. And we could not be more excited to be playing more shows here in Chicago. If you can't make that, just follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everything.
More show announcements coming
yeah.
out.
We'll let you know where else we're playing. We'll try to get to your town. If we're not here in your town, hit us up. We'll see what we can do.
Make sure we can
Absolutely.
all get off work before you ask us.
Yeah, ask our boss and then ask us.
We'll be
Yeah.
at Kevin's in Connecticut at some point playing in his living room. So
no
yeah.
pee.
stand by for that.
That's awesome. So I do have one request. Because we had you guys on the show, I would absolutely love for your next song, based on how everybody's talking about our age and how we're getting old, whatever the next song you guys come up with, regardless of what it's about, the name has to be "What's My Deductible?" Because
What's my deductible again? What's my deductible again?
see, the song writes itself. You're already getting the
Does.
chorus going for you.
Well,
Jim,
that one before any lawsuits on our brand new LLC happened, that was a parody. That was a parody of What's My Age Again.
Yes,
So we'll have to get to the
Oh, does it critique the original work?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Well,
that's
then,
what it was.
okay. There you go.
That was not original. I don't claim
Malort's
that
probably got
melody.
a great legal department. We're covered, guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's great.
Thank you, Malort.
Don't
gentlemen,
come after us, Malort, unless you're paying us a lot of money.
We can never take their money. We have to.
That's
We
true.
have to advertise for them for free, or else we have no integrity.
I will happily do that
Yeah.
forever.
No, I will never accept your endorsement deals, Malort.
FedEx is about to get
No matter
really
how
busy
huge it
for
might
anyone
be.
outside the Chicagoland area.
gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. I think this is a great place to wrap this up. Once again, you mentioned that you are on all the social medias. What is your guys' handle for all of that?
TikTok.com/@Malort and Savior, Instagram.com/Malort and Savior Band, Facebook.com/Malort and Savior Band.
Maybe
Probably.
if you just type in Malort and Savior. in
Link.tr
Facebook, you'll see us.
no linktr.ee/Malort and Savior will find all of it. Our link tree.
I'm impressed there. I'm impressed that you were
Yeah.
able to go down the list. That's freaking awesome.
You can tell what I do in my spare
CVO,
time.
man.
It's I shit
I
post
couldn't
for
tell
this
you any
band,
of
dude.
those. I'd say Google search us.
You're not gonna get a lot of results.
Dude,
You got a
seriously.
phone number?
Thank you guys so much for being on the show. It is an absolute pleasure. Malort and Savior, ladies and gentlemen, please go out there and listen to them. Please go out there if you're in the Chicagoland area. Go out and support these guys. They have been nothing but a blast. Pete, Rex, Jim, thank you so much for being on the show. So let's go ahead and let's wrap it up on our side. As always, please like, subscribe, and follow us wherever you're listening to podcasts. And if you are listening to us on Apple or Spotify, please remember to rate and review. We're also on Instagram and Facebook, so please like and follow us at DNA Pod or on our webpage, nerddnapod.com. I'm your host, Steve Pugh. I have been joined by Malort and Savior. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks,
guys
Steve.
so
Thank
much,
you,
man.
Kevin. Mwah. We love you.
Thank you.
Before we go,
Oh.
several times throughout this interview, the band has had Malort without
Yes.
a wince.
Oh, why
Oh,
would we
yeah.
win?
Malort,
And we
if-
all
if
just
you're
share the
listening,
same bottle,
these guys
too.
are serious.
Yeah.
I wasn't
it's
going to
not a
say
joke.
anything.
Bottle pulls all night.
Yeah, let's take one more just for the
All right,
road.
Let's cap off
Absolutely.
the podcast. That's when I came in at very
absolutely. That's why I
early
wish
and
it was a
said
video
something else
podcast.
important came
Oh
up.
my
That was me running in with our express delivery of Malort.
Yeah.
Save the interview.
Oh my God, yeah, it's
That's
just
why this should be a video podcast. I want you to see that we're OGs. We're not posing.
no, you definitely are not posing, guys. Like
Beautiful,
seriously, you guys have been sitting
Yeah, we're
there.
posing as musicians. We're not posing as Malort enthusiasts. I promise you that, my friend.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being on the show again. And
Thanks,
thank you.
guys.
Thank you guys.
And
It's
good
been
night.
an honor.
Take it easy.
Yep.
Gonna make a big